If you are using Zapier for automating your business for things such as sales, marketing, operations, fulfillment, and you keep getting those annoying unexpected errors, this video is just for you. You know what most people do? They would do one of these two things. Either they would just turn it off and just forget about it. It's like, me seeing a pile of clothes of laundry you need to do. I would just put a blanket on top of it, so I just forget about it and just go by my day. And it feels good, yeah? But it's not a good thing to do in business. The second thing that most people do is they would just recreate the entire thing from scratch. So both of these things are wrong. And the thing is, it's costing you quite a bit. I have clients who lost hundreds of thousands of dollars because a Zapier error was paused, which prevented the leads from going through during the weekends, and no one knew until they saw that the leads were not coming in during the weekdays. So you don't want to be in that position, and if you do either of those two things, you will be ending up in that position, which is why in this video I'll be going over two main things with you. I'll be going over all the common errors which 98% of you guys would have, gonna have in the future. Not only that, I'm just gonna show you exactly how we can solve this problem. Now, how do I know all these things? My name is Fahad. I'm the founder of AutomateMyBiz. I've been building AI-powered automated systems for 7 to 11 figure business owners over the last 6 years. Zapier Platinum Partner. That's fucking right. I'm Zapier Platinum Partner. I know this shit. I've been doing this shit for the last 5 years. I'm kidding. but you guys understand that I know what I'm talking about. So with that being said, let's get into the video. So there is two possible ways in which you would find an error. Either you would get an email about a Zapier alert saying that, hey, this particular automation has stopped working. And the reason for that is going to be mentioned somewhere. And here you click on this, you're going to go to the Zap. Or maybe if you just open up your Zap, there will be some sort of button just like this that says that, hey, your Zap has been held. So let's just firstly diagnose what are the things that possibly happens and how to see what's going on. So the first thing is you click on Zapier History, and that pretty much shows you exactly what's going on. And most of the time, some of you guys are going to have something that's going to say held. So one of the common things that most of you guys would see is something called held. What is held? Held oftentimes mean that this entire Zap has been paused, and any subsequent run has been paused for this particular automation. Now, there is few scenarios as to why this happens, and I'm going to tell you exactly what it is so you can fix and diagnose and make sure this doesn't happen again. So one of the common possibilities is either your subscription is no longer supporting the amount of tasks that is needed. And whenever you see a Zap that's held, you have the option to click on that particular item and play and run it from there again. So it's going to start running the whole Zap from the moment it has been held. Now, be very careful. Before you do that, you have to make sure whatever caused the Zap to be held is fixed. Main possibility, as I said, is you don't have the capacity to run the automation because of the lack of tasks. Sometimes it's also because there is too much data. There is a thing called rate limit. What the hell is rate limit? So the second option, the second reason as to why the data would be held is maybe you have a rate limit. What the hell is rate limit? So every Zap has a certain number of times it can be run. You can run 15 times per minute, XYZ times per minute. You configure that in the settings side of Zap. Every Zap you go to settings, it's going to show you exactly how many times it could be run. So maybe you exceeded that. So oftentimes you just wait and it's going to automatically be rerun. If it hasn't been rerun, then all you need to do exactly what I said before. Click on it and run it again. That's all you have to do. If it happens again, just wait for a few minutes and rerun it, and then you should be sorted. All right, now let's start talking about the juicy errors that most of you guys are probably gonna get, which is error 400, error 500, error this, error that. Now let me show you exactly how you can read this error and how you can diagnose them. So the first thing is most of you guys would get an error like this. So the first thing I need you guys to understand is firstly, always there's going to be an error message. Every single time, every Zap is going to have an error message. And if you can read the code on the error message, either you're going to get an error code like this and it's going to explain a bit on what the error code is about, or you're just going to get a simple message like, hey, this thing is not there, you need to do this, XYZ. So the first thing I need you to do is go to the Zap and try to backtrack exactly where things went wrong. So again, Zapier History comes in clutch. Go to Zapier History, you can find the exact, either click on the view Zap button right below, or you can just go to the Zapier History and click on the error option. It's going to show you exactly which Zaps had the error, and just click on this view run details button. When you click on view run details button, it's going to show you exactly all the Zaps, and then you slowly see which Zap had an error. So it's this Zap that had an error. One thing you guys need to know is everything before, right? Whenever a Zap has an error, everything before has run, it has been successful, but everything after is what's causing. Everything on and after is what's gonna not be runner is causing problems. So the first thing you do is check the logs, see what the log says, what the message says and what the log says, and always look at the code. Yeah, so see what the code is and see what the message is. So I want to explain to you what each code means when you see such codes. Yeah, so error 400, what error 400 means is whatever actions you have within the Zap for a particular app, you didn't set that app action correctly. That means maybe you're trying to create a contact, but the email is missing. Maybe the first name is mandatory, but you didn't put the first name, and something is wrong. So best thing to do is just always see. Oftentimes Zapier is smart enough to tell you exactly what is missing. Like something is missing. So the way automations work is we make an API request. API request is, what am I speaking to you? I'm speaking English to you, right? I'm communicating English. Just like that, software A and software B talk to each other with using a thing called APIs. So software A is saying to software B something, but software B is not able to understand because the way I'm structuring the words is not correct. Do you know what I mean? That's exactly what's happening in here. So the way I'm structuring the words is not correct. I just need to structure my words correctly. So I need to go back and see. Oftentimes they're going to tell you exactly what, like it says, hey, invalid input. One of the inputs such as maybe it's age or it's maybe type is incorrect. I can only choose one of the three options and I chose a different option. Maybe what's your sex? It's male, female, and others. I typed in as potato. So, so I just need to go back and fix that problem. And once you fix those things, it's quite easy for you to do when you're trying to fix this app. You can just open, click on edit draft, and yeah, once it shows you exactly which one it is, and just input the data, whatever it says, right? Input the data and then see if it works. And oftentimes input data, especially the drop down ones or numbers, are the one that causes problem. Because there are a few types of fields, right? There is text field, which is you can type in anything you want. That doesn't cause problems often 99% of the time. Then there are number fields. They expect the number to be a certain way. That causes quite a bit of problem. And the third option is drop downs, where sex, like sex, male, female, this, you need to type exactly that value or the ID of that thing. So if you don't do that, it's going to cause errors. So if you can find the ID or you can find the name and all the option lists, you choose one of the lists and put there, and it's going to work. And the way you can test this out is by just swapping these numbers and testing it out from here. So if you think it's this one, type in something that it works, and then go test and just run a retest and see if it works. If it causes the same problem, go back, keep repeating the whole loop, and you're going to eventually figure out that problem. All right, so that's error 400. So error 401. So if you see the error 401, that means the connection between two apps, the connection between this app with Zapier has been expired. So maybe the connection token, whatever, it's just developer words, tokens has been expired or revoked. So oftentimes the only thing you need to do is just reconnect the app. It's very easy to reconnect the app is just by going to the Zap and whatever app you have, right? There's going to be an option that says reconnect, right? In order for you to reconnect the app, it's quite simple. All you need to do is just go to the setup section and click on this three dots, and there's going to be a button that says reconnect. That's all you have to do. Just click on reconnect and test the whole automation again, and you should be sorted. So the next kind of error that often happens is called error 403. 403 means it's forbidden. Well, the next common type of error that most of you guys would get is called error 404. So error 404, same thing. You did it right, you set it up correctly, you structured it correctly. However, whatever you're trying to pull, whatever you're trying to get, it oftentimes when you do a get request or when you're trying to get something, it doesn't exist anymore. If you're trying to it's like me asking my dad for love and affection. It doesn't exist. He gives me back an error 404. Actually, it's so funny. I'm joking, guys. I'm joking. I'm all good. Right. So error 404 oftentimes mean that it doesn't exist. What are we trying to pull towards? So that's what that means. So try to look for something else that does exist, or maybe there's some issues in what you're trying to get. So the next kind of error you would get would be error 422, that looks something like this. And whenever you see error 422, right, it always means that the data is set up incorrectly. Something about the data is set up incorrectly, similar to the 403 one that I said before. So oftentimes it's the format. So you did everything correct, it's one of the options, everything is correct, but the way in which you formatted things is not exactly the way in which this software is looking for the data. For example, if this software is looking for the dates in YYY and DD format, but you set it up in DD and YYY format, it is going to throw this error. All you need to do is, oftentimes the Zap is going to tell you exactly what formatting is causing this problem. So if that doesn't work, do the exact same thing I told you before. That is, I want you to keep swapping all the values, not the text field, but anything, any numbers. Oftentimes it's numbers, phone numbers, dates, all these fields, right? That needs to be formatted a certain way. Keep swapping those things, keep testing, keep running a test when you swap one thing and find out exactly which value is causing this problem. Then you can diagnose the whole thing again. All right. So the next kind of error that you would get is the error 429. Remember when I said that the reason why Zap would hold date, it's going to be on held in the beginning, was because you increase the rate limit. Rate limit again is there is a per minute quota. Per minute there is only 10 people who can go through this door. Let's give an example. Only 10 people can go through this door. But if the 11th person come in, we just beat him, give him an uppercut and tell him to screw you, bastard. But Zapier doesn't do that. Zapier is just going to throw this error like, hey guys, this 11th person is not supposed to be here. Tell him to wait and come back later. That's all this error is. It means there's too many things going on at the same time. All you need to do is essentially either the rate limit is from Zapier settings. So there's two possible reasons as to why this rate limit is happening. Either it's within Zapier or it's within the app. Most of the time it's from the app. It's quite rare to come from Zapier. But if it is Zapier, all I need to do is just go to the settings of the Zap. If you go to the settings of the Zap, you will see there's a thing called flow for flood protection. That means Zapier is trying to protect flooding of requests at the same time. All you need to do is just increase the number. If you're sending more, maybe I would not recommend keeping too much, because maybe flood protection does help. So keep it at 200. If that's Zapier error, would often tell you what the rate limit and where the rate limit is coming from. But if the rate limit has the name of the app, the rate limit from MailChimp, from this, from that, it's because the rate limit, that app is preventing you from sending too much data at the same time. So what I would do if I were you is click on edit Zap and add a slight delay in here. So in delays, right? So there is specific action called delay after queue. So I don't really like this option. I'll tell you why. And I would recommend, if I were you, I would just go with this delay for, and I'll tell you why. Delay after queue works. Correct me if I'm wrong, someone, but I'm 99% sure this is the reason. Delay after queue only works if when the trigger is pulling the data, right? If all the data, it only works within one Zap. If you have a webhook, right? Every time the webhook runs, it's one Zap is done, the next Zap is done, the next Zap is done. I believe delay after queue doesn't work that way. It only works if one Zap is running and it's pulling all the information, then it starts processing one at a time, right? It's not different Zaps firing at the same time because of webhook. So most of you guys is going to have a webhook, and this is applicable for every situation. If it's like, you don't have a webhook like thing, then go with this. But I would ideally recommend delay until, and ideally I would try to calculate exactly what the rate limit of that particular app is. A quick research is going to tell you. For example, some apps would have, I believe one app I was recently using, something like MailChimp, had 60 per limit. So if it's 60 per minute, if I can have a 5-second delay and people are coming at the same time, so oftentimes find out exactly what the quota is. Sometimes it's 120, sometimes it's 5, and you're getting a bunch of things at the same time, right? I would reckon maybe if you add a 1-second delay and you're getting 1,000 thing, so it's going to process about 60 of them at the same time. I would ideally recommend having a 1-minute delay or a 5-second delay, or ideally just 1 minute if you're not having too many data, and that should probably solve your code limit. But do remember, if you do add 1 minute, it's gonna take quite some time. If you have like 200 people coming at the same time, it's going to take 1 minute per person, so you can calculate exactly how long it takes for one person to be processed. So just keep that in mind, but this should probably solve your rate limit issues. All right, so the next thing that happens is error 500. Any error 500 means it's probably the server issue that's going on. Now I'm going to go over exactly the common type of 500 errors that happen. One of the things is 500 status code 500. What that often means is that the server, remember when you're talking to an app, right? For example, if this is an app, this server doesn't exist anymore. I'm trying to talk to someone, but that person ceased to exist. I said the words out loud. I saw him there. But the moment I said the words out, he just completely disappeared. I was like, what the hell is going on? What in the paranormal activity is going on over there? What in the obsession now? But that's what happens. And why does that happen? 99% of the time, they're having some issues. It's like my girlfriend when she said, Fahad, would you love me if I was a worm? Just give her some time and she should be good. Mama, not that I have a girlfriend. I'm a very good boy. I'm listening. I'm a religious boy. Yeah, I'm kidding. All right. So error 500 means the server went down. The server is going to be back up again. All I need to do is when you see that error, go to the Zap, run the whole thing again. That's it. That's all you have to do. Go to the Zap, rerun the whole thing from the Zap history, just like I showed you, and you should be sorted. So, right. So that is about it. The rest of the errors are things like this, where it says that, hey, the loop value is missing, this value is missing. Sometimes they're going to say that, hey, the email is invalid. So for stuff like this, it's quite obvious. Whenever you see a missing value, all you need to do is just go back to the Zap. If it says that, hey, this value was missing, find out exactly why that value is missing. It could be like, you could have a get contact in here. So for example, if you're trying to create a Google Sheet like this, and this part says, hey, this thing doesn't exist, that means there's a problem with this step in terms of fetching that information. You can always fetch the information from test and see that why did that thing not happen. Maybe it's a one-off situation. If it's a one-off situation, ignore it, but keep a track on, hey, does this happen again? If it does, maybe you need to fix this trigger. So that's what oftentimes when they tell you exactly why it's missing. Sometimes, yeah, this field is missing, that ID is missing, this name is missing, this email is missing. That means there's a problem fetching the information from the previous step, or whichever step that value is being taken from. Once you go there and you try to fix it, you should be sorted. And sometimes you will have a fake or invalid. It's very rare to see this error, but sometimes the app you're trying to use would have a formatting feature where they say that, hey, any fake emails, don't let them through. So that's what these errors is. So essentially, guys, that's about it. I hope you guys found value in this video. And before you guys do anything, right, the fact that you're still here means that you're enjoying this video. The only thing I ask you to do is just click on the like button so you can tell the algorithm of YouTube that, hey, this guy knows his shit and he's funny as fuck. So please let the YouTube know, click on thumbs up. So I'm going to be wrapping up this video. If you guys are interested in maybe fixing some apps or building some advanced and cool shit, that's exactly what me and my team does. If your business is interested in building cool ass automations, yeah, agents using Zapier, or maybe fix some Zapier errors that's causing a bunch of problems in your life, I'm going to be attaching a link to book a call with me or my team, and let's open a call and see how we can help you guys. Yeah, that's about it, guys. I'll be talking about more automations and AI stuff in this channel, so subscribe to follow along, because bro, there's gonna be a bunch of cool shit happening and cool things I'll be building. So there's only one channel to follow for business owners, and that is this one. Alright guys, I'll talk to you guys. See you later. See you on the next video. Ciao.